Listen, I was the guy, owned 21 storage facilities at the time, and I was out there installing barrels indoors that didn't work anymore. And then I'd go home and I'd get on the phone to the bank and try to secure that next loan or whatever it was. And it's just terrible waste of my resources for me to be out there repairing stuff. And I would travel, our stuff's all over the Southeast, and I was on the road 5 days a week. Much better investment of our time for us to do the things we do well that got us to the point where we might consider investing in one of these things and get somebody else to do what they do well, which is fix a door or some sheet metal or whatever issue you've been telling yourself you need to get involved and do. What else? More pushback.
One of my challenges is I agree 100% that that's what we should do. Right? And then the cost-benefit analysis always seems to fall short in my head simply because I run such a small portfolio, literally one facility currently, that is, it's the training, right? I find it hard to invest, what do they say, 30 times, right? 30 times the amount of time it would take to do the task is what I should spend it training someone to do it.
Yeah.
And I like to think that if I had 300,000 square feet, that would be a no-brainer.
Yeah.
At 50,000 square feet, I don't know.
Yeah.
I find myself saying, well, B+ always passed in high school.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
still a doctor? What's that?
Yeah.
You still a doctor? I'm not a doctor.
And there are, and not just in the storage business, but there's a whole bunch of areas of our life where we take that approach. This will be good enough. And we can get by with it. But we don't thrive in it. I spent a lot of years in leadership development. We studied the strengths movement, kind of you're better off utilizing your strengths than being a jack of all trades. And I remember this story we used to use when Shaquille O'Neal first came to the Orlando Magic, and he was a stud. I was living in Florida at the time when they first kind of got started down there. And for years, Brian Hill was his coach, and he worked after practice every day on his free throws. And he worked harder, he worked after practice, he worked a ton, and he sucked. No matter how much he worked on it, it wasn't his strength, right? He gets to the Lakers, and Pat Riley's his coach, and Pat Riley says, stop working on free throws. You work on getting to the basket so that when they foul you, you're going to score anyway, and then they'll stop fouling you. That was the Shaq attack, you remember, was that was the play that defenders would do. So instead of working on a weakness, which was his free throw shots, this coach said, work on your strength. You're a big, strong guy, and when you get the ball, when they foul you, you make sure you score on that play. So he got beefed up upper body even more. He worked on getting to the basket and scoring, and pretty soon the Shaq attack didn't work anymore because he was still making the shots, making the 2 points, and then every once in a while made a free throw, or his team got a rebound. So I kind of use that same analogy to say, if you're a jack of all trades, if you're doing everything, you suck at a lot of it, but you just do it, right? Because if I only had 300,000 feet then, but instead work on the strengths, the things that, got you to the point where you could consider investing in one of these. Keep doing that. And get somebody whose strength is doing these things that aren't yours, and trust that process. I think that's really the kind of what you're getting at, is I just don't quite trust that if I do that, it'll pay off. Yeah. And it does. So you got the expert up here, I'm telling you it does. So we can go home now. We can go home now, right? But it does. Think about other areas of your life, the things that you know how to do really well. You could make that happen. Ian could work a deal out here just in his sleep. That's how he thinks. Probably sucks at putting a door up, fixing a garage door. So don't spend your time doing that. Spend your time on doing this. He might tear one down, unless there was beer behind it, and then he might fix it. But focus on the things that you know how to do and that you do well without even thinking about it. And don't spend all your time over here doing things that you could easily get someone else to do.